How's it going? Just coming off of recording the Republic video, and I was just thinking to myself, what are the best premiums in the game that you can get? Right, starting from the very left in the heirs tree. I mean, I'll be including limiteds in this video, I think, just because they might come back, and in case they come back, I want y'all to know. I mean, just in case. I figured there's no harm. I'm just going to be doing a general overview and then at the very end going over per tree which one I would get that are available today. Um, First off, we'll start at the very top, the Akasha. This thing, I would not get. I would definitely not get this thing. You have absolute great PD. The Super Plasma Warhead's kind of useless. I'm not going to lie to you. They're kind of useless. They're never going to hit. Let's see. They're just too slow. I mean, they're very slow. 3,000 meters per second. Let's check the average Halo missile right fast. 4,000. I mean, we're talking a third slower, fourth slower than that, which is just not good. Only it's going to be an intercept carrier. Thing can't really attack people. It can, but I would only ever have it attack people, such as the Hyperion or frigate. Really, any frigate that it comes across is the only thing that can really kill. It's not going to kill anything big. It's pretty much useless armament. You can loop with it. It's got decent HP at 180 with tolerance. I would just say it's not worth the 1.5 and then getting the Invictus though if you're just going to chase this down. And now this thing, the Cali, I would say is probably going to be your best option in the entirety of this tree. The entirety of the Ares tree. Super, super good. I'm going to go ahead and do a round with it. Here's the thing about it. You got really good PD, and its main thing is, see these little side plates where it's marked as Cali and everything like that? You get armor right there, and you get very, very good armor right there. That, along with the fact you're about to see right here, your main armor, like your main weaponry, it does so much damage. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Your super plasma warheads, the ones we just saw on the Akashi. I mean, I would get this thing 20 times out of 10 instead of the Akashi. Or, sorry, not the Akashi, the Akasha. The only thing is, these guys have a really bad reload time. But it's manageable. Honestly, I would rather take the really bad reload time and the very high damage just so people don't see you shooting at them as much. You know that if someone sees you shooting, they're going to be more likely to shoot you back. However, if you, okay, they just shut down the servers. Did something happen? Well, one sec. They just completely shut down the servers, which is appreciated. I don't know if there was something wrong there. Looks like Pio shut down the servers for some reason. Not entirely sure why. Seems like we're the only ones who got shut down as well. So much fun. I can't believe that just happened. Anyways, let's go up again. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be the one you're gonna want. You get 0.35 times armor right there, which gives you absolutely insane HP if people are only hitting that. In fact, let me go ahead and do the math on that. You get 242,000 HP, not including the shield, which has tolerance, if you only get hit on the armor, which the armor can be a little bit spotty. You're going to be wanting to get people, you're going to want to, if you're going against it, you're going to want to hit there. Yeah, this thing is just absolutely crazy, in my opinion. I'll show you again. The only thing is it is very, very bad because, hold up, I'll show you. Very, very bad against frigates, like you just saw the Warrior, which is currently terrorizing all of us right now. Whatever this is, somehow there is a Tide, which has infiltrated our spawn. Also, you do very, very bad against shields. Just the way it goes. Can't have it. Can't have it all. This thing has most of it, though. Not all of it. See, I'm pretty much getting bullied right now by Hyperion. Just a bunch of random stuff. Oh, I forgot to mention, though, is that right now, it's bugged. There, all armor is bugged that has a tolerance shield with it. Since tolerance shields do not have shield gate, all of the damage that goes through the shield will just come onto you. However, this completely bypasses your armor. So anytime that you have that shield tolerance up, it's just gonna completely negate your armor, and it's just gonna annoy the shit out of you. And so the armor can't really be used like that, but even without the armor, and this I assume will be fixed eventually, they're gonna have to fix it if they add a single, like, I'm assuming it'll get fixed with the SBY update, considering, I mean, all of the not Gatlantis, oh my god, people just absolutely had a heart attack. The Garmillis, half of your capital ships, or pretty much all your capital ships other than the Cresceria, they all have deflection. They all do. Um, so they're gonna fix it eventually, which is why I highly recommend it. The Mujaro, it's a tier 3, so I can't recommend you get it because tier 3s, I mean, there's just always gonna be better tier 4s. Let's be real. There's always gonna be a better tier 4 or a better tier 5. This thing specializes in anti-stealth. However, I wouldn't get it because we're gonna get here later, but the Zenobia is currently, I would say, the best for anti-stealth frigates in the game. However, for decloaking, this is the best in the game. This is the best in the game for decloaking. However, decloaking is different than killing the things that you decloak, which is why the Zenobia is better, and I'll talk about that later. Dulsvama. This is a complete meme. I would not get this if you're actually serious about grinding anything. Grinding free XP for the trade. It's just pretty much useless. If you're a freaking complete psychopath, there's another reason you would want to get this because with 10 million XP on this, if you can get this if it ever returns without getting the Invictus. However, I would just get the Invictus because it would just be simpler because A, you get the Invictus already and you don't have to grind out 20 million XP since this thing also takes 8.5, sorry. Fiorina. This is very, very funny if you ever wanted to use it in low tier, considering that you have deflection or you have armor and you also have a shield. And then you also get the power stunt, which completely regens your shield. So it's just very funny if you ever use it. But since tier 3, you just can't recommend it. Great. It's alright. I'd say maybe get it since you have the Medusa here, which we're gonna about to get into. I don't know, man. I mean, it's just here's the thing. You have most of your damage is coming from the Rebalds, which are 32.5 kilometer range. Now, I don't know if you've ever played the game or not, but 32.5 kilometer range is just not it if you're trying to kill things. You're very, very, very unlikely to be there. It's just not a very good grinder for free XP. I would still say the Kali is better in 9 out of 10 situations. And the Medusa, though, the Medusa has something going for it. It's the fact that it's a tier 5. And tier 5 means you get tier 5 DPS, baby. This thing, let me go ahead and pull it up. I'm gonna go ahead and actually pull up this thing's exact DPS. You get 13,822 DPS. However, most of that is, of course, locked behind that range. However, you have significantly more HP, but you are also very, very fat. You are a very fat ship. So, I mean, it's like, I really, 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 really want to say get this thing, but I still think the Kali is going to be better if you're trying to grind. This thing, while it is a tier 5, also has a 180-second respawn timer compared to the Kali's 60. So if you're trying to grind free XP, this is just always going to be better since you have it up 3 times as often. These two suffer the same issues. This thing has, what is it, 32-kilometer range. I just wouldn't get it for now until they fix something like that. If you're gonna get a tier 3 premium, the Iroquois is going to be the best tier 3 premium in the game, in my opinion. The Shiva nuclear missile is invaluable, especially considering the fact that things at that rating, tier 3. They don't have the best PD. None of them do. The Port Stanley, very, very funny if you're going to go specifically anti-shield. However, you have 15,000 HP, and this thing is also anti-shield and has over 4 times your HP. So, or over 5 times your HP, actually. So, I mean, just get the Erebus. Yes, it is 11.7 million with the stealth ship, which is absolutely crazy. Um, but I mean, it's that good. There's a reason why it takes that much HP. Come over here a little bit. This thing is absolutely super good. This is the best Halo premium in my opinion. If you're gonna get one, get this thing. However, it's only around for Halloween, so I won't include that. But if it ever does come around, definitely pick up the Indulgence of Conviction. Spirit of Fire. This is currently the worst healer in the entire game. Pretty much useless. Sorry, not even pretty much, absolutely useless. I don't know why you'd ever use this thing. You're super fat, 200,000 HP, basically nothing. You don't even really heal that well. I would rather just use the Machinator in Star Wars. I'd rather just use this thing, just as a better healer in general. And I'm pretty sure these things can. What are the? Oh, I forgot I got reworked. So it only has Pelicans now. Yeah, it's just I. What are the range? Max range 5,000 meters. Yeah, it's crud. Wait, who are 5,000? Who's 5,000 meters away, dude? It's just awful. I don't think this thing is ever coming back. But if it does, it's a solid pickup. It did get nerfed really, really hard. People always said it was overpowered, and then when it got tapped by a single nerf, no one ever uses it anymore. It's for a reason. Um, the way that it fires in the salvos is that if you have super good PD, it's just never going to hit everything. However, if you don't have super good PD, you will get hit with 300,000 damage right to the face. But most of the ships nowadays have decent enough PD. This thing, I would say that this is the best Halo Premium that's available year round. I mean, there's not a lot to pick from. It's one of the 2 tier 5s, but let's go ahead and... Oh! Yay. We're getting spawn camped. I should really have gone to a private server for this, considering that I want my team to be able to live, but... Here's the thing, though. Your reactor supercharge is just kind of crazy. You can loop around. You have really, really good DPS. You have really, really good fighters. You have a nuke fighter, and it can only be, the only thing about it is it can only be used under 25-kilometer range, which this guy's about to get hit with it. There you go. You saw that nuke, 15,000 damage right there. Sorry, the game's lagging super hard. You can spin really well. I mean, look at that DPS. We're missing out on some of our guns right now. We're still hitting crazy DPS numbers. And look, and you have 300,000 HP, which is alright. It's not the craziest. Oh my gosh. 300,000 HP, especially since you're going to be kind of a brawler. But since you can loop every so often, I mean, look at this. I mean, that's crazy. This is a really, really good premium. The only bad thing I have to say about it, which is, I mean, it's unnecessary to say it because it is true, is it does cost 3,000 gold, which is an absolute crap ton. I mean, 3,000 gold's a lot unless you're buying it. I would never recommend you buy gold unless, I mean, in very certain situations, I would say buy gold. But, I mean, in reality, you're not going to be wanting to buy gold. But yeah, this thing, I mean, just super solid. Now, you will get hard countered by the Havdari ships, mostly because they have those hit scan lasers that will just kind of eat you up. They'll just kind of eat you up. You're good against missiles, but you're not amazing against missiles, if that makes sense. In that short life, we got 680. Let's check our free XP. We got 20,000 Halo free XP gain. That's really good. I had no booster active there. In which, if you don't know, I don't think single XP boosters do not do anything for your free XP, but I believe mixed do. Mixed boost everything, so they'll give you more free XP if you're wondering about that. Sorry about that. And that covers it for Halo. Now here, we get to a very, very complicated situation. The Normandy, if you are a very, very good player, which I am not. I am not a very, very good player. You're going to have to look for... There's a dude named, what was he named? APB Lockdown. Super, super, super good. He used to be able to get 2 million score runs with this thing every single time. I cannot do that. If you are very, very good or you are very, very committed to being good with this thing, absolutely, this is going to be your ticket. If not, to any normal person, I would say that Oribaza, you just get is going to be your best bet. You just get absolutely you get cracked runs with this thing. Me and my buddy were just playing normally together, and he got a 3 million score run just like every single time he lived. And the reason for that is completely because you have the Hack It Out, which boosts everyone's rate of fire by 3 times, which is just going to absolutely farm you score. I mean, it will just farm you score every single time. And your war assets right here, which I'm not going to show right now, that's going to be a self-heal. So while you do only have 60,000 HP, it's because you have a self-heal. Do not worry. It's just I would say it's misleading. Now, the only thing is, because of the fact that you have an ROF, you rely on your team. You have to have a team for it to work. You have to have a team that's shooting for it to work. This ship is going to work best on brawler heavy maps where you're just going to sit next to your teammates and you're just going to absolutely have a good time. You're just going to have a great time. Because your teammates are going to be doing a lot of damage and you're going to be getting a lot of score. That's pretty much what you want to have. So now I'm about to try this. I'm going to get ready to pop my war assets right here. Gonna go ahead and hack it out. And we'll war assets. And so we're gonna go ahead and be healing ourselves for a couple bit, but as you can see, I mean, it's woo! Got absolutely obliterated by someone. Yeah, just getting absolutely obliterated again. My team is not there, was not there. They are obviously here now, since half of them just spawned in, but you rely on your team very heavily for this. This is an interesting ship because while this thing, I mean, 1,500 gold is pretty good. I mean, that was half the cost of Pillar Bottom, but you can also see the half the cost difference right there. This thing is decent. It's the only tier 5 ROF booster that I know of. Rest in peace to the Finalizer and the Finalizer nerf. This thing's okay. You're a healer, you're a support ship. Can't really do a whole lot by yourself. I mean, I think it is really I think it might be copy pasted on. I think it is copy pasted armament from the Nema. But your ROF is only 1.5x and it's a 70-second cooldown. It's just, I really think that this thing's going to be your best ticket in terms of score. Because you can get some crazy score runs with that. I didn't just hear just because of team wasn't there. But I mean, it's worth it. It's worth it. Now these two, no. This thing, no. This thing, very, very, very hard to kill. It's super, super good, is what I would say if it wasn't pretty much broken. The way that the camera is, it just doesn't work out. You get a niche RAM. These two can be good on very, very close maps, but on most of the time, most of the time, it's just not going to happen. Most of the time, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to work out. Oribaza is going to be your best bet there. Now we get into I think the tree with the most premiums in the entire game, which is going to be SBY. These two are trash. Don't get them. This thing can be funny. Sorry, I'm going to go through this pretty fast since I want to get into the meat and potatoes of it. Not very good. This thing just got buffed. Has armor now, but never been the best. I still need to use it again, but tier 3, don't get tier 3 premiums unless you have everything else in the game. It's just not worth it. This thing can be good if you're trying to meme around in mid tier. This thing, there's better snipers. You're going to get absolutely obliterated if another sniper sees you. This thing, The Imperial Guard Meltoria, and I do not have the Imperial Guard Lasso, so I cannot comment on it. Now this thing, it's complicated because you have these Type G torpedoes with 35-kilometer range. You know, I'm just gonna spawn in one match with it and see what happens. You get these spinal torpedoes pretty much, which have 35-kilometer range. You're gonna do about 80,000 damage. You get this afterburner. You go fast. You're going fast right here. Like, look at this. You're going fast. We all like going fast. We all like shooting nukes. But here's the thing. It's just something about it is just screaming to me. Don't, because it has very mediocre DPS outside of the Type G torpedoes. You're not spectacularly survivable, considering that the you only have 80,000 HP. I would rather pick up another ship that we're about to get into, the Defiant, instead of this. I mean, you'll see I'm about to get absolutely pooped on, and I'm just doing this for memes because I don't like this guy, but I can't believe I lived that. Oh wait, he actually he blocked it all. You can see we got a pretty good damage number there. You do 30,000 each. I just don't know. Let's check the DPS on this real fast because I'm honestly very, very curious. Meltoria. Yeah, 5,000 with 3,000 laser DPS. I mean, you're gonna have to get your spinals off if you want that much. Unless you want that, if you don't want that, unless you want 3,500, you're gonna have to be using your spinals, which your spinals leave you very, very open. So I mean, I just can't say it. The best limited is gonna be your Garriman. No, actually, that is not true. I almost forgot about something funny. Sorry. One of the best is going to be the Garriman. This thing has the best deflection armor in the entire game at 8,000. At 0% at 8,000, which the next best, Jormungandr, only has it at 7,000. So it's gonna have the best. It also has a funny warp. It's pretty good. This thing is useless. Don't get it. This thing is useless. Don't get it. It's not useless, but you're gonna need to have a buddy in order to use it because the ship warp is just a little bit too niche for me. This is the best SBY premium, and I would say the best ship in the entire game. Now it is currently unlisted. I'll play. I'll play a match with it. Why not? Just because we're getting spawn camped. I mean, we're gonna die soon enough. Or we're gonna lose soon enough. We're gonna go in. We're gonna go into flank speed right here. Okay, pretty much what this thing is. You get shield torpedoes. You get a self-heal. You get laser beams. I mean, what does this thing not have? You get a very, very good air wing. I know it doesn't have the craziest air wing HP, but it's just the way it is with pretty much all of the ships in the SBY tech tree. You don't have very good air wing HP, but it just, I don't know how to explain it. It just does us so much damage. I mean, look at all those abilities. I mean, you can check with your own two eyeballs. If there weren't, hold up, let's see how many people were shooting me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If there weren't 7 people shooting me, I could get a lot better footage. But I mean, it's the best ship in the entire game if you want, in my opinion. And this thing hasn't been listed for like 2 years. I wouldn't worry about it. It's very good though. I would highly recommend you pick it up just because it's funny. Um, this thing, worst sniper in the game. I don't think it's very useful. Some people who are very good with using the Saturn maneuver can fling this thing across the map like it's a spaceship. I am not that good, unfortunately. This thing, I there's just a direct upgrade to it. I wouldn't get it. This will be around for the 4th of July. This will be around for the 4th of July. It's not useful. Your gun, your gun is at 7.5 kilometer gun. I wouldn't use it if you. It can be funny in very certain situations, but this is not one of them. I would say that this is another one of the best, and this is permanently available. We'll go ahead and I'm not gonna. I'm not. I'll. I'll spawn it. You get armor, very good weapons, just a solid ship. I'm gonna absolutely get obliterated by that MC, by the way. But here we are. You do very, very good damage. The issue is not your damage. You have very good HP. You have very good um, point defense. I would say for sure that this is pretty much the pillar of autumn of this tree. You get armor, 20,000 HP. You're just gonna absolutely obliterated by this because this guy is 32 kilometers away from me, and it is normally an artillery ship, and I have 0 other teammates, meaning I'm getting shot at by pretty much every single person on the lobby right now. And I'm still living. You get an air wing so that you can actually shoot back against some people, which is fortunate. Your weapon's very, very fast muzzle velocity, which matter. Because you're gonna shoot some. Sorry, not very, very fast muzzle velocity. You got average muzzle velocity there, but I mean that matters. That type of stuff matters. Because if this guy started looping in the other direction against me, I mean, I'm gonna want to kill him. And it's very, very hard to do with something like the cudgels and the Aeris tree. I mean, this thing is just a solid ass ship, man. For sure. Still got some pretty good HP. We'll show this MC. You're going to be doing pretty much 20k per salvo. A little bit more. It's just a solid ass ship, man. I mean, but you're just going to be pretty much looping at 40-kilometer range. You don't get a nuke ship like the Pillar of Autumn. I think you do a little bit less DPS in the Pillar of Autumn. You're not very big though, which is good for you because bigger ships get targeted more, and if you get targeted more, you die faster. So there you go. I think some of your your lasers do have a negative shield multiplier, but it's not very big, so that is good to know if you're gonna be looking into this thing. It's the same way with your missiles, I believe. I do believe that the harpoons and the SM6s have a shield multiplier that is not very good. We'll see though. Yeah, I got shot down by a Corvair of them, but I mean, you could see that this is the best still on release ship. I just need to check if this thing is unlisted. Okay, this is unlisted. Okay. These are both meme ships. This thing can ram at 50 kilometers per hour, and I think it does 300,000 damage or something like that. It's just this thing. If you're anti-doge and abuse bugs, it's the best ship in the game. Sorry. It pretty much just has a wave motion gun that does more damage the closer you get, up to 120,000 at 12 kilometers. So it's good if someone's like actually in your spawn camping you. This thing has been unlisted for a very, very long time. We'll go ahead and see if I can shoot it before dying instantly and just show you what it is. Show you what true beauty looks like. You do 210,000. It's pretty much just a shotgun. It's a gigantic shotgun. Pretty much just a meme ship though. Has been on sale for a very, very long time, but it is only 1 gold with the regular Vesuvio scatter, so if you already have the Vesuvio scatter, of course, get it if it ever comes back, but I doubt it ever will come back, considering it's been a very, very long time. Let's check what else. The Enceladus, probably the best tier 3 you can get, probably the best tier 3 in the whole game. Now we get into the only ones I haven't covered so far, which is these. These two completely worthless, don't get them. This thing, 5 times rate of fire multiplier for 9 seconds. is absolutely bonkers. I don't know if you could piece that one together, but it is absolutely bonkers. People keep voting for Bespin despite the fact that they leave immediately after getting it. I don't get it. Anyways, this thing is just the better Meltoria. Is the better Meltoria. Um, Hold up. I want to find an actually lobby that I can use this thing in because it deserves to be used. Like my there's not there's not a good map. There's not a good map for this thing, unfortunately. So you'll just have to take my word for it. But yeah, if the Defiant ever comes back on sale, get it. All right, now we're gonna be on to the next tree, which since we're not counting Star Wars, since not Star Wars, since we're not counting specials, since half of these ships are meme ships, the only other serious ones here are gonna be these are the only actually serious ones. These two are pretty much useless anyways. These two don't get them. This thing is kind of funny considering it could technically have a million HP, but not really. Anyways, for Star Wars, starting at the very bottom. This thing's kind of funny, does a lot of shield damage. I wouldn't get either of these two. They're both kind of mid. If you're going to get one of them, get this one. However, it is currently unlisted. Um, Chimera, do not get this. Please do not get this. It is very, very bad. It is an ROF boosting ship. However, there are better ROF boosters. For instance, hold up, where is it? I'm having a brain fart right now. For instance, the Orivaza. So please do not get the Chimera, especially since it's 1,500 gold. I would look in to getting this thing because it can have the highest DPS in the game for approximately 5 seconds. Or what is it, 20 seconds? Like, hold up, I'll show you. You're going to want to press Vader's Fury, and you get 20 seconds of the highest DPS in the entire game. However, I'm not sure if I would say that this is necessarily a good idea um, to be using as your main grinder, considering after this you're useless. You just can't do anything. I mean, it's miserable. You do get a pretty good set of fighters here. Um, do get a very good set of fighters, but I mean, you're pretty much using this thing for Vader's Fury, your ability, and after that, I mean, you're middle of the road. You do about 5,000, 3,000 DPS. Hold on, let me go ahead and check since I'm going to be just sitting here for a little bit. Yeah, you do 5,000 to 7,000, and you get a three times DPS, so that's 21,000 shield damage, which, if you couldn't tell, is pretty good. It's pretty okay. Now that is the best artillery ship in the game. I'm just kind of staring right there, and I'm going to have my head and shoot it. Okay. Yeah, pretty mid DPS, let's be real. And then we get back to our ability, and I'm just going to absolutely delete this thing. Let's see if I can kill this. I mean, you can see the vision of why this thing is so good, but it's just kind of it's kind of a meme. But there you go. I mean, it's pretty good. Don't even bother with the tier 2s. The Merciless, I've only ever used one time. It's good. You get an active cloak. You're mostly going to be using your specials here from 50 kilometers away. Please do not get close enough so that you're going to have to use these very, very bad medium turbos. Pretty much you stealth away to 50 kilometers and then rinse and repeat. You can re-stealth if someone shoots missiles at you. In the finalizer, you get this active RF boost of 2 times, which can be useful, but I'm just not a big fan. I've never been said this thing is overpowered. I really think that it should have kept its team ROF boost, but it is what it is. You get a 45-kilometer guns. You get a, which very little of them though. Your super heavies. No, it's not your super heavies. Is it your it's your heavies. Which I mean, they're just not the greatest. They're just not the greatest, man. It's hard to explain. Um, Night Terror, it can be good. It's one of the only things with beam weapons in the Star Wars tree. Um, it is the only one with it as its main armament, and it's also one of the only tolerance ships with shield gating. So if you wanted to spend a little bit less gold, I mean, it's only 850. It's only 850. This thing's not even on sale anymore. This thing is. This thing is a solid pickup. It does have armor as well. Point 0.5 at the very. Where's that point 0.5 at? Point 0.5 at the very, very bottom here. Anyways, yeah. So this thing's a solid pickup. The Radis is the worst ship in the entire game. It's not listed, but even if it is relisted, don't get it. And here we go into what I think is the most overhyped ship in the game. And now the most overhyped ship in the game, the Obi-Wan, is only good because of one reason. And now that one reason is these things that people absolutely slide down their, like they glaze. They glaze so hard. The anti-missile octets. And now they're super good. They are the best anti-missile in the entire game. However, this thing is just so mid it's good. I find myself 1v1ing or whatever this thing. And I'm thinking, or this thing is on the enemy team, and I'm like, this thing doesn't do a whole lot of DPS, right? It's not a very, let's check its DPS. Oh, it did not like that. Let's just do that. DPS breakdown. You go 5,000, 6,000. Not a whole lot. You have pretty good, a pretty good air wing to do against fighters, but really what this thing does so well is it can hit everything in the game. These things are basically impossible to shoot down, so you can hit pretty much frigates or anything with like really good anti-missile. You can defend yourself against missiles. You can defend yourself against enemy air wings. You can attack people with your air wing that are looping around you. You can hit people that are slow and looping because you have 30,000 muzzle velocity guns. You can shoot people who have really good shields because you have anti-shield. You can also hit people who are sniping you from very far away because you have a 50-kilometer gun. It's not good. We just looked over that. It's statistically not good based on the fact that it only has 200,000 HP total. This thing doesn't even have tolerance. However, it can deal with anything you find yourself having to deal with in the game, which is why you see people with absolutely crazy scores in this thing. If you're gonna pick up a Star Wars premium that's gonna be on sale, pick up the Obi-Wan. It will never disappoint you. It doesn't really have that long of a reload time anyways, or sorry, a respawn time. I mean, it's just a good ship. Now, my issue with this thing is it is factually a mid ship. It can do all of these things. It doesn't do any of them very well. People glaze this thing like it's the best thing in the entire game. It is not the best thing in the entire game. It can just deal with everything in the game reasonably well. This thing, do not get it. It is 3,000 gold. It's 3,000 gold. Let's go ahead and check its fighters real fast. Let's go ahead and check its fighters. Not very good. Intercept air wing DPS. Let's face it, this is not amazing DPS. The Obi-Wan had kind of similar. I mean, just don't get this thing, man. It's just a waste of your money. These things are not listed anymore, but even if they were, do not get them. It's called the Viscow Maximum DPS, though I'm almost positive it has less DPS than the normal Viscounts. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. Um, I wouldn't, I would not get this thing. It's not really that amazing. It's, yeah, it's just not very, it's not amazing. I would rather have the utility of the magnetic torpedoes than I would the extra bombers you get because I think this thing is more inclined to, yeah, this thing has more HP and gets more fighters and also a little bit of broadside. So I'm just trying to check the differences so I make sure I get it right. Yeah, I would really just, if you're one, I would roll with this thing over this thing, though I'm not sure if this thing is listed right now. No. Yes. We'll get this thing if you ever have extra. Because of course it is listed. This thing is not listed, but overall, I would say that that thing is worse than the Obi-Wan. This is one of the best interdictors in the entire game. I know I kind of glanced over it. I would get this thing if you wanted a good interdictor. And then we get to the expanse. My favorite, the devs' favorite tree in the game. This is a meme ship, pretty much. I mean, it's a meme ship. Let's be real here, guys. The Rocinante refit. You have 50k HP. You have cracked out anti-missile. But you have no guns. You have missiles, and you don't have a lot of them either. You have an auto-tracking railgun that can do some decent HP, and you have, it literally is called plot armor. I accidentally activated it. And then you get this thing, so people can't hit you with their actual guns. And then you just get absolutely torn apart by missiles. Congratulations, you found this thing. Now, I would be able to use my plot armor. Unfortunately, I wasted it since I'm retarded. This thing's a complete meme. Don't get it. This thing can be good, but there are better snipers. I'd rather use the Donager over it. Now, we get into an interesting one. The Zenobia. Now, most people don't know this since it's not even said or anything. However, it's these are anti-stealth missiles, and they can also bypass interdiction. Now, they are not the best anti-stealth missiles in the entire game for decloaking people, but they are sure as heck are the best when it comes to killing them. These things have a very long reload time, but they do 6,000 damage each. Can't be interdicted, which is useful for these two goblins right here. Um, which one of those isn't a stealth ship, but both of them are frigates that you're going to want a missile um, for. And they have interdicted. Sorry, I had a massive brain fart there. It also does very good damage with its normal missiles. Has a nuke. Has pretty good PD. Not the best, not the worst. Has these, but you can't really use them ever since they changed it. Has flip and I mean, this is probably going to be my best anti-stealth in the game. Has 110,000 HP with that 0.5 damage multiplier, pretty much 20,000, 200,000. Yeah, Pella, not very good in terms of an ROF booster. I would just go for the Uribaza. So if you're going to want my picks that are available still in the game right now, I would definitely go for Aorus. You're going to want for Cali, for Halo, Pillar of Autumn, for Mass Effect, Uribaza, for SBY. You're going to want to pull out the, what did I say again? Oh yeah, the South Dakota. For Star Wars, sorry, I went right over it. The Obi-Wan and the Expanse Zenobia. Now, for ships that, if they ever come around, would be the best, come back around, which are currently not listed. This one only has one that's currently not listed, so I guess the Akasha. All the rest of them are listed. This one, if it ever comes back around, the Everest, I would say, is the best currently unlisted. And these ones don't currently have one that's unlisted. SBY, if it ever comes back and is ever unlisted, the Yamato 2220, or the Defiant. I never got to use this, but I'll make a video on it separately. Star Wars, if they ever come back. Ooh, this one's hard. The finalizer. Would I say this finalizer? I would say the finalizer or the invincible. And then this one, they have no limited other than the Rocinante, so I guess the Rocinante is going to be your best premiums. Well, yeah, that covers it for the best premiums in the entire game. I'll see you later.